Am I the asshole for ruining a wedding by not telling my friend I was on medication? My friend Sarah was getting married, and I was lucky enough to be in the wedding party, not Mo, but bridesmaid. She had an outdoor wedding that had limited bathroom availability. Obviously, because it was outdoors, she rented 4 of those, not a porta-potty like you would see at IDK, a construction site, but a nicer portable one that's longer that they might set up for more sophisticated outdoor events like tennis or polo. 2 for women, 2 for men, 4 total. The wedding in total was about 150,200 ppl. I should also mention that due to some health problems, I started taking a medicine that has possible side effects as diarrhea. When you look up medicines which have a million side effects, you tend to just take that and say, well, they have to say it has all that, I still need to take the medication. I didn't think to mention this to anyone for a number of reasons. 1. As I just sighed, medicine side effects vary depending on what it is, and commercials and scripts usually overstate them. 2. What am I going to say to her before the wedding? That I'm taking his medication and it might have side effects in general. I've never struggled with incontinence or IBS or anything like that in the past. It's a little while before the ceremony is about to start, and I'm being pulled into a million directions helping out, and I start to feel a bit of a stomach ache, and then we all get shuffled up to the front without warning. Whatever, I'm at the wedding, I can't go run out for Tums, it will be fine. Pachelbel starts playing, everything is in place. All of a sudden, I feel a deep pain in my bowels. For 20 seconds I'm just standing there thinking, do I have to go? What do I do? Just, IDK, trying to process the situation while remaining composed. It happens. I'm not going to go into detail here because it was embarrassing and traumatizing. Needless to say, I excused myself. After dealing with the whole situation, I was there standing outside the bathroom not sure what to do next. I had assumed the ceremony had continued to go on. Do I go back? There's no way. They're in the middle of their vows, and here comes shit girl. So I waited a while as to not interrupt anything. 2 of the other bridesmaids found me crying eventually and told me that Sarah was upset and said I should leave, so I did, in shame. It all happened over the weekend, and it's now Tuesday night. I had sent an apology text to Sarah, but I haven't heard anything from her or anyone else in the wedding party. Am I the asshole for ruining the wedding and not letting my friend know about my medication? Am I the asshole? Too long did not read. Had an accident at a wedding in the wedding party, was told to leave, and did. Now my friends won't talk to me. Should I have said something beforehand about the meds I was taking? That's the only way I see having prevented this. Edit. As more information is clearly needed, here it is. 1. The way the bathrooms were set up, I was not standing in sight of the wedding guests where the bathrooms were. I.e., nobody in the wedding party was starting at me sitting outside the bathroom. So I tried to clean myself up, but was out of view of the wedding area when my friends came to me. I thought being out of view, away from the party and cleaning up would be enough. I didn't return to the ceremony. Maybe I could have worded, "Do I go back?" more clearly as a rhetorical question I was asking myself. I was trying to calm myself down before finding my car. I'm self-aware enough to know I can't return to the reception ceremony with a poop stain and its NBD. 2. The pain I'd felt wasn't necessarily I have to go to the bathroom pain, just like a general, sharp pain. That being said, I could have had more body awareness. 3. Princess 1518's comments about the bathrooms is correct. It's a trailer with stalls and sinks in it. It's not practical to make them co-gendered, or rather I wouldn't think so as I don't work in trailer design and engineering, but it didn't seem like it would be. 4. Galactic_Cockapose is correct. The incident occurred during the ceremony the way I described it. Maybe I should have been more clear about that. And at least some of the guests presumably saw. I don't see how they couldn't have. 5. I'm not upset at the bride, and I can confirm she's still mad at me. I'm not angry with her for being angry with me. Obviously, it's an emotionally charged situation, but I'm not looking to get the internet to tell me I'm in the right to use as ammo against her. No matter what, I want to come at the situation with damage control and peacemaking. 6. To add more clarity as to whether or no tit was obvious, there was the noise and the smell. I can't imagine it wasn't. 7. I can accept the responsibility of doing more due diligence with my meds and their side effects. On one hand, the side effects list was incredibly long, and it was just one possible symptom listed as diarrhea, among many others, which is common in a lot of medications. If it had said explosive, or gave more information that this was a main side effect, IDK, it would have been better. But to be fair to myself, when everyone gets meds, and there are like 50 side effects, do you account for all 50 of them and change your routines as a result? Do you say, one of 50 side effects is diarrhea, I should tell my friend? Some have said that and I get it, but also when it's one of 50, I feel that would have been weird. Looking back now, I guess, obviously it wouldn't have been as opposed to the alternative, but still. Edit number 2. As some have asked, alcohol wasn't involved. I don't drink alcohol for health reasons, other than the ones involved in this post. I feel like all the NTs are being too easy on you and too hard on the bride. I mean, is it really that much to expect your adult friends not to shit themselves in front of everyone at your wedding? No assholes here for me. You had a medical issue but you did stain their wedding. An event that's normally very expensive, takes a lot of time and effort to plan and execute, and is supposed to be a once-in-a-lifetime event for a couple. Nah. Of course she has a right to be upset. You shit all over yourself in the middle of her wedding ceremony, lurked around covered in shit until you had to be sent home, because you didn't read your medication side effects, know your body, etc. But that also doesn't make you the asshole. Obviously you can't control it and it was an accident, but she's going to need some time to get over this. And all the commenters saying they wouldn't care at all are, frankly, full of shit. Not the asshole. Would she have been mad if you had a random seizure? It's nothing you could have controlled. Info. Was the first time you experienced this side effect? You are the asshole. You knew the risks of the medication. You should have made sure to use the bathroom before the ceremony started, the minute you felt something in your gut. I understand why she is upset. This will be the wedding story that gets told about her wedding for years. Over time, that should soften, and she should realize it was unintentional. That might take a while. Also, why didn't you clean yourself up and just go home? Am I the asshole for not letting my mom have a special dance with my brother at my wedding? I, 21 female, am not even engaged yet. I do however have a boyfriend, 21 male. We've been living together for 4 months and his sister just got married this last Saturday. The next day I'm FaceTiming my mom and telling her how 2 of the relatives were talking about how they were already planning my and BF's wedding. My mom laughs, then eventually brings up how she wants a dance with my brother at my wedding. Me, unsure of what she means, says she can dance with him and whoever she wants to, but no. Apparently she means she wants her own special, separate dance. Think father and bride, mother and groom, etc. With my brother to perform for me and my future husband as well as our families. My mom really likes dancing, she was never professional or anything, it's just something she's kinda passionate about. As sweet as I think that is, that's just not something I want, feel comfortable with. It's my wedding, not my brother's. I'll already be doing the father and bride dance with her in place of my dad as I do not have a relationship with him. I explained how this all makes me uncomfortable and how that doesn't seem like a normal thing. She tries to convince me that it is and other people do it. Even if it is normal, it's not something I want. She then goes on about how I'm being disrespectful with how I constantly tell her no to these kinds of things. How I'm not keeping my family in consideration enough. I don't think of how my actions impact them, and, he's your fucking brother. Now she's going on about cultural things that I don't want at my wedding and I'm disrespectful about that too. I tried telling her politely that it's my wedding, she can dance with whoever she wants when everyone else dances, and I'm sorry she feels that way, but at the end of the day, it's mine and my future fiancé's choice. She didn't like that either. Of course, I'm not even engaged yet. I know I have time, and yes, I plan on including both her and my culture, but within the boundaries of myself and my future fiancé. Still, I can't help but wonder if I could have been more polite or done a better job at making her feel more important, included. So Reddit, am I the asshole? Too long did not read. My mother thinks I'm rude and disrespectful for not letting her perform her own dance with my brother at my own wedding. Edit. To clarify a few things and also FYI. I wouldn't say my mom favors my brother over me, but if you look at my profile you'll see another post I made about my mom wanting me to get a ticket for my brother to come to my prom. Other than what the post may imply, my brother and I are pretty close and he also agrees my mom can be a bit eccentric and we sometimes tend to bond over complaining about her. He also agreed the prom thing was ridiculous. Fun fact about my brother, he'll soon be going into the seminary to become a Catholic priest and won't even be having a wedding of his own at all. This whole argument happened on our family group chat which my brother never commented on, so I'm guessing he also thinks my mom is a little out of line here. Also, many of you have called my and my boyfriend's future wedding hypothetical. Yes, I agree things can always go wrong, but we've been dating for 2 years. We're happy as can be. I actually moved in with him partly to get away from home. And we plan on marrying when times are better. Also, thank you to everyone's great advice on setting up a password systems with any services I'll be using when the time comes. I also intend on including her when I can to prove to her it's not that she's not important, but hold boundaries when I can. Thank you all again. Edit 2. Someone commented how they've seen groups, keyword, group, of guests doing a dance as a gift, which I believe that's what my mom is talking about. But still just her and my brother, which if it was a group, I'd understand. Since it isn't, I'm really not comfortable and she refuses to accept that. Not the asshole. She can dance with your brother at his wedding. This hypothetical wedding is yours and is about you, not your mom or brother. Not the asshole sounds like your mom really likes to be the center of attention, and yes, it's a very odd thing to demand that herself and your brother perform at your wedding reception. I would maybe give her a pass if they were professional dancers who have been doing this for years, but even then, it sounds like she is struggling to allow you to have your day be solely about you and your future spouse. Is this a pattern with her? Does she have trouble allowing other people to have the spotlight? Everything about this is very sketchy, and I hope that your brother would not actually be excited for this either. Not the asshole, what the actual heck? That's bizarre. Does she want to have a dance with her husband's second cousin once removed too? Not the asshole. It's not disrespectful to have a difference of opinion or say no to anyone's entitled feelings. Not the asshole, does your brother get a say in this? Would he want to? Surely he'd dance with her at his own wedding. I can't believe this has caused a huge argument for an imaginary wedding. You need to get engaged first. Would I be the asshole if I'll put my mill in nursing home? I, F44, live with my husband, M47. We have 2 adult children who don't live with us anymore. Ever since my mill, F83, got weaker and older, she lives with us, too. 2 years ago Mill was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. She is under medical care, of course, but despite it the disease is progressing fastly. Nowadays Mill cannot stay at home alone as she is dangerous for herself and her surroundings. She almost burned the house, twice, and there were also some other accidents. Fortunately as for now she didn't hurt herself seriously, but at this rate the question is, when it will happen, not if. Taking care of her is mostly my responsibility, as my husband has very irregular schedule and because of nature of his work he often has to be on call and or leave home at short notice. As for me, I usually work 8–10 hours per day, mostly from home, but sometimes I have to be in the office. After I finish work, I take care of the house and mill. My husband helps me as much as possible, but quite often he can't be there for me. I'll be honest, I never was a caretaker type. I don't have enough patience. I don't like when other people depend on me. I am nervous when I suddenly have to adjust my plans. I cared about my children, obviously, and I like to believe that I was a decent mother, but honestly I have much better contact with them and, as bad as it sounds, love them more since they grew up and got more independent. The more my mill needs my help, the more I grow impatient, exhausted and burned out. I do my best to not to show it, but the situation really wears me off. And I am well aware that with time she'll need even more attention and patience. Admittedly, given that I cannot always work from home, and Mill can't be alone, I have constant problems at work, which upsets me, as I cherish my work and career. Given everything, I want to put my Mill into nursing home. Obviously, before I do so, I'll research and choose one with good reputation and qualified staff. My husband has mixed feelings about it, which is understandable as she is his mother, but he says that given that I'm the one mostly taking care of her, the final decision is mine to make. Problem is, husband's siblings are raising hell, calling me, and husband, but mostly me, cruel and undependable. They say I should just hire a nurse or something. I don't want to let a stranger into my house and I don't want to be a caretaker at all, and in this configuration I'd still have to take care of Mill after work. I and my husband, offered them that we'll pay them for either taking her to live with one of them, or for taking care of her at our place, but they weren't interested, citing that it's too much responsibility, and they have their own lives, but that's exactly why I considered the nursing home at the first place. Am I the asshole? Underscore, 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 underscore edit. Just to clarify, as it seems it doesn't change general opinion, by nursing home, I meant memory care center. Or another specialized place like this for people with Alzheimer. English isn't my first language and I didn't know a correct term. Thus I wrote, nursing home, as it was the only term I knew. Reframe the question. Am I the asshole for finding a care solution that meets my MIL's needs and my family's needs? Quite often, people are responding to the phrase, put in a nursing home, because it sounds like you are kenneling a dog. Alzheimer's is a complex disease that needs increasing levels of care as it progresses. Of course, not the asshole. Not the asshole, your ailing mill needs more care than you can actually provide. The only assholes in this scenario are your husband's shitty siblings. Not the asshole. Her condition is worsening and she has almost set the home ablaze twice, she needs round-the-clock care at this point. Ignore the siblings. If they wanted X, Y and Z, guess what? They had the option to do those things for their mother, but didn't want to, and they don't get to complain that the person who did sacrifice a lot for her is making the hard calls that none of them want to. They call you cruel, but you're the one who gave time and energy to look after Mill when none of them wanted to. Not the asshole. I'm glad your husband is taking your suggestion seriously, and realizes that as her primary caretaker, yours is the key vote on this. If her siblings seriously think that their lives are more important than yours, feck 'em, as we say in Ireland. You have done your bit, and it is now time for you to focus on your own well-being. Not the asshole. So the siblings call it cruel if you put her in a nursing home where she gets the best care she deserves, but they don't want to take care themselves? Hypocrites. Am I the asshole for starting the process to evict my brother-in-law? I recently got into a massive argument with my sister and her husband who currently live in my apartment after they lost their home due to my brother-in-law's stupid schemes. Michael lost all his money and all my sister's money on Forex and cryptocurrency and working the stock market. To be fair, at first the money was rolling in. He was often doubling, tripling and even quadrupling the money he invested. But as we all know now, it was all an elaborate Ponzi pyramid scheme, and like all get-rich schemes, it all crumbles down at the end. But Michael continued to pretend things were going well, and then my sister was pregnant with baby number 3 and was made redundant as COVID lockdown started, which meant he could no longer pocket my sister's wages to keep trying to recoup the money lost on his investments. He then stopped paying the mortgage and used his wages and credit cards to desperately try to get back the money he wasted on being a genius business-savvy alpha. And as luck would have it, in this time period laws were put into effect from evicting people. Then it was lifted and the banks came to collect. They moved in with me in my small 2-bed apartment, and it was hectic with 3 adults, 2 toddlers and a baby. They stayed with me for 3 months. Had to give decent time to my tenants to move out before I could move them in. We agreed they'd pay reduced rent for the apartment and I had my lawyer draw up the paperwork. He paid his rent and all was well for a few months. Then he suddenly stopped working, saying he was depressed. My sister continued working and paying the bills. He then got another job and quit after a few months. Again stating depression and anxiety. Just to be crystal clear, I seriously doubt he's depressed, and if he really is, he refuses to do anything about it, as I have given him many opportunities to see mental health professionals, as I'd be happy to pay. He just wants to play games, talk shit online and find ways to make money. I've had it, and I told him he needed to pay rent or move out. He said that my sister was already paying it, but I told him that he needed to be working, as I agreed to reduced rent if both adult parties were working. Since he isn't upholding his end of the bargaining, I've started the eviction process. My sister is upset, but she understands my frustrations and in many ways agrees with me, as she is also fed up with his bullshit, but unfortunately my sister loves this man deeply. Michael is crying to everyone who would listen to him, including our mother and my bum-ass father, who have both been saying I am destroying a family and should be ashamed of myself. To be honest, I don't really listen to my parents because they're kind of stupid, but having told 2 co-workers of the situation, they're saying I'm being a bit of an asshole and putting a husband and wife against each other, as well as causing my brother-in-law to move in with his parents and so be separated from his family, since there is no way for them to find affordable housing at the moment. Have I gone too far? Edit for clarity: my sister and the children will be able to remain at the apartment. The only one being evicted is Michael. Your sister needs to learn she can love somebody deeply and still be sick of their shit. Not the asshole for still housing your sister. And I didn't hear any offers for anybody else to take in the whole family? No? Not the asshole. Michael is the problem. Tell your parents to take them in. Not the asshole. And as someone with several people in my life who suffer from mental illness, It infuriates me when people claim to have one as an excuse to get their own way. It will probably be the best thing for your sister too. Either it will be the wake-up call he needs, or she'll have time away from him to realize what he truly is. Not the asshole. Your sister can move with him to his parents if she wants. Not the asshole. Michael is a parasite that is going to keep draining resources from your sister and nibblings.